Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Spencer. It's good to have you with us today. Um, I need everybody to know this is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your last name right. Toycen? Toycen?
Yep, that's
Okay.
it.
Spencer Toycen. He's a new musician starting out in this area, and he can really shred a guitar. So before we get into how he got where he is, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Luscious Moss Studio, owned and operated by Chad Christ in Edgewood, Washington. You can find him on Facebook by going to Luscious Moss Studio. He is set up primarily for drummers. He's got 1.5 million mics on those drums, and guitarists, and he does do other kinds of recording. So please contact him if you have any needs. So with that being said, oh, by the way, it's a very collaborative and creative environment that he has over there. So do look him up if you have needs. I see we have two people on with us already. One comment. Let me get my comments. Can you see that up in the upper right hand corner?
I got comments. There we go.
It
Yeah.
says hi YouTube, but they don't identify. So please identify who you are when you do make a comment. This system doesn't allow for that. Okay. So Spencer, how in the world did you ever get started? I mean, I have you on. This is a matured musicians group. It doesn't mean age, but it does mean that there has to be a certain amount of maturity in the music just to get on here. And you certainly achieved that and exceeded all bounds at a very young age. So that's why you're our guest today. Please let us know how it started.
Oh, it started. I can honestly say it started when I was about 2 years old. My parents got me a guitar for Christmas. They got me a drum set. I was about 2 or 3 for both of
How old?
those.
How old? How old?
2 and 2 years old.
Oh my God. And they got you 2 guitars and a drum set.
Just yeah. And it started there. My mom she used to do the headphones over the womb thing.
Yeah.
And she
Oh
played
my
everything.
gosh. It
My,
worked.
my it works. It honestly does. Yeah, she listened to everything. All of my music interests and everything kind of came from her. Not to say my dad didn't influence
Yes.
that at all. He definitely did, but mom was definitely the musical bunch on her side of the family. I mean, we're spoiled with musicians
Wow.
over there. So it's, started there. I started piecing together sounds on the guitar. Could I tune a guitar at age 5? No, but I would I would put my finger on the fret and be like, oh, it sounds like that, sounds like that. And I would just play songs on one string. Started there. And the drums I kind of left for a while. And then I started getting lessons on guitar. I think it was about 9 when I started taking actual lessons. Didn't start learning theory until I changed guitar teachers at like 12. And then I started learning theory from my last guitar teacher, Davey French. Plays in Everclear. He's a solid dude, an amazing guitar player. And he taught me theory. He taught me how to actually play solos with feeling and actual intonation and everything. And that was kind of like my guitar journey as far as learning. And then drums, I picked up drums again when I was 14. And I've been playing drums ever since. And
Yeah.
I started singing around the same time too. Learned how to play bass. Got some folk instruments in there as well: mandolin, banjo, piano. Took piano lessons when I was 3 to like 8, something like that.
I'm going to have to stop you for a minute, Spencer. I'll have to do this from time to time, but we're getting some comments. The commenter who said, hey, you do,
Yes,
is Stephen from the Dragon.
Steve.
And somebody else said, amazing guitar player. Met you in the Yelm Golf Course. Yelm Golf Course.
That was not me.
That was not him?
Sorry to say that was not me.
Well, somebody else said you're an amazing singer. So please explain and identify yourself on the amazing guitar player met at the golf course in Yelm, okay?
Yeah, write your name like at the end of a letter from blah, blah, blah.
Can you see them up there on the?
Yes, I can. They came in really quick. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
got wrapped up trying to remember things.
That's no problem. What I wanted to ask about what you were telling me, your background, when you got those 2 guitars from your parents at age 2, what kind of guitars were they?
I can't remember the name of the electric, but it had like a Fender Strat style body. It was a little tiny thing, you know. I hold it from time to time. Like I'll go over to my dad's and he has them, and it's super small. I used to take it apart and put it back together to just know how to do that. But the acoustic was it was a Mark II. That's all it was called.
Okay.
Yeah, those guitars have seen better days for sure.
Yeah. So our commenter commented about the golf course at Yum. So that was at a karaoke. You were singing. No.
I've only been to Yum once, and that was 10 years ago.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, listener, but
hey, no worries.
Man.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, amazing singer. He's great.
Anyway, so we were at where you were 14 years old. I can't remember what you had just picked up. Was that the bass at 14, did you say, or keyboard?
Yeah, I started messing around with the bass when I was 14. But what I really took to was drums. Drumming has been something that, like, even when I wasn't actively playing a drum set when I was a kid, I practiced with my hands. I developed a system on my mattress on my bed. I had this down blanket. I'd make sure it was really tight on my bed. So it would, like, if you hit it with a drumstick, I had a Rock Band drumstick for the video game. I would hit it and it would smack. So I'd learn how to, like, use my wrist to create different sounds. So I'd have my palms and this, that, and the other thing. And I did that for probably a year and a half, practicing everything with my headphones on and all that stuff, learning, hand movements and placements. And I'd listen to songs really carefully, like, oh, he's doing this on the bass and he's doing this on the hi-hat and he's, all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember asking my dad, I was like, Dad, can I get a drum set? And he was like, absolutely not. Because in his head, he's thinking, I'm going to have to listen to 2 years of him sucking. And then he's going to, be good. But that's 2 years of naps that I'm never going to get back. Like, and I don't blame him. But my mom was game, of course, but that's kind of like that's a 2-parent deal. You don't have access without the other. We went to the EMP, the Experience Music Project, back when it was still called that. It's called Mopop now. Okay. But we went there, and it's in downtown Seattle, right by the Science Center. We went there, and I'm geeking out over everything there. I mean, everything. They didn't have the Nirvana exhibit yet, but there was this whole Northwest exhibit about grunge, heart, everything. Louie. I mean, come on. It was so amazing. And they had this exhibit where you could play an instrument and they take your picture. It's a photo op thing. But you sit through a full song and you pretend you're in a rock band. And I wanted to do it really bad because they play a song and you play along with the song if you can. So I was like, Dad, I gotta play the drums. He's like, cool, yeah, let's just take a picture. He's not thinking anything of it. We did Purple Haze, which is one of the songs that I was
like that song.
Practicing over and over again on my bed. And after I got done, when we did our photo op and all that stuff, after we get done, we're in the car, we're leaving, and my dad's like, yeah, we're gonna get you a drum set.
Aww.
Because I had done a lot of the groundwork from just practicing on my bed to, Rock Band had come out the year before, and I was learning, hand-eye and leg coordination just kind of intertwined. So guitar and drums are my two. I'm singing now out of necessity. I've been getting better the last 3 to 4 years. So,
Well, we do have a couple, at least one person here to say hi to. Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
I
just saw her on Saturday.
All right. Yeah, she's everywhere, but in Duval on Sunday nights, Andrea. Anyway, so do you know Chris Ager? He's right now he's at Mirkwood at a jam on Wednesday nights, and his partner is Richard Williams. Have you seen that interview? It was like the interview before last with the two of them.
I did not. I did
Okay.
not.
He did comment on your when I was posting things about you on Matured Musicians. He did comment and say thought you were a really good drummer.
I try. I
Yeah,
try.
he has a Plumtree Studio up
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
Mount Vernon area. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's quite the guy. And I for him to say that, that's high kudos there.
I mean, I was put through the ringer this last Saturday. I got to play with Power Cell, Lynn and
No,
Lynn Sorensen and Manny's band, and I did that. And boy, let me tell you, that was some serious fun. Klahia Day night out in Snohomish at the Oxford. I mean, the crowd was giving me the energy to keep up with them. I mean, they're
yes,
legit rock stars, and I'm just
they
like,
are.
I'm just a kid, you know.
Uh, yeah, they Manny and Susan used to do. I can't remember the first part of the band's name, but the Impalers are
Spike
the
and the Impalers. Yep,
yes, Mike.
yep.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
used
they
to
just
play. Oh God, if you ever listen to some of the stuff they do, it's just incredible. Oh, you don't want to listen, you're playing it now. Yeah.
well, fingers crossed. I'm not good enough for Spike and the Impalers. I'm good enough for whatever Manny and Lynn want me to do.
Oh,
You
I
know,
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't
it
say
was off. Andrea just chimed in. She said it was off the hook on Saturday night, and she's right.
that.
It was a barn burner. I've yet to come down from it. Like I'm still beaming. I did not fall asleep at all at work today. It
Oh,
was great.
no.
It was great.
All right. So we left you at 14 on the drums, and then we kind of get carried away from
Sorry.
that. And no, that's don't be at all. That's just makes for an interesting interview. So okay, so we're at 14. Where did you go from there? So you're working on the drums. We know what
Mhm,
some of the end result is. Um, your guitar was also you're also doing the guitar. Were you also
mhm.
singing at that point, or did you just do that lately, or how?
That's when I started singing. I mean, I was 14, so I'm going through all these different changes, and my vocals were definitely
Yeah,
part of that. I had this high falsetto
you
when
still
I was.
do.
I can pull it out every once in a while,
Yes.
but uh, I had this high falsetto, and when we would do like musicals at school, I would sing, and I could do that. But then middle school happened, and I started sounding closer to this, and
No.
I had to basically relearn how to sing.
Oh no.
So one of my favorite artists ever, if not my favorite solo artist, is Garth Brooks. And I would listen to Garth Brooks stuff and pay attention to how he's breathing, where his voice is coming from. And that's how I relearned how to sing. That and James Hetfield from Metallica. I would listen to their kind of like middle era albums to
Yeah.
kind of learn how to, you know, push out the baritone and yeah.
Well, I think that you do a Garth Brooks tune called Friends in Low Places. I love it
Mhm.
when you do it. I'm part of Sun Country, so
I do a metric ton of Garth Brooks when I do
really,
my
and
solo
that's the
shows.
only
Oh
one I've
yeah.
ever heard. What else do you do?
I mean, name anything off the greatest hits. I usually do those during my dinner show. I spread them out. I don't usually do Garth
I
back
have
to
to
back,
get you
but
into those. You have
yeah,
your dinner shows at the Oxford, correct?
yep, I have one tonight.
Oh, shoot.
That's a teaser for later. You got to stay.
Oh, great. I want to hear. He's the one about. He's singing about if you lose a loved one, give people plenty of love while they're still alive.
If tomorrow never
Here
comes.
it comes. That's it. Yes.
Yep,
Yeah,
I do that one.
yeah, I love that. Maybe I'll come up tonight. So from there, going into your junior, your what do they call that? Middle school now? Going into
Middle
middle
school, junior high.
school.
I don't know.
And then you moved into high school. So what were you
Yes.
doing during your high school years?
High school, I had just stopped going to lessons with Davey, I think early freshman year. I kind of needed to focus on school. There was some stuff happening at home that, wasn't
Yeah.
awful, but
Yeah.
life. And
Like,
I started kind of like digging deep into playing the drums in my garage a little bit. I'd throw on my dad's lawnmower headphones, that you get the AM, FM signal in. I throw those on, listen to the local radio show, The Men's Room. and start just playing the drums while they would talk, and then wait for the songs to be played in between, segments of the show. And I would just do that.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, like that was so fun. It was kind of a pain to drag my drums in and out of the house, but worth it. And freshman year is when I met, I have a laundry list of best friends, but that's when I met my best friend, Ryan Torgeson. Fantastic songwriter. That guy is just an amazing guitar player and musician overall. But we connected in middle school and became like really close friends in high school. And that summer between freshman year and sophomore year, I think that was the summer of 2012 or 2013. I think it's 2013. We started listening to the same stuff. Like he's a big Mac DeMarco fan, Waves, surf punk band. We started listening to a lot of these San Francisco-based newer artists that like had the same influences we did, but they were just better at implementing it into their own material. And then Ryan has been able to do that, and I have to a certain extent. But we connected over that, and we would jam out in the garage. We'd switch places because he's a great drummer too. So we would just back and forth. And then we started a band called Mysterious Teriyaki. We would play parties. We'd play parties in high school, and then that stopped for a while. And then, we did that all throughout high school. And that was fun. That was such a great time. Then I met my brother, my bestest friend, Jake Smiley. Fantastic drummer. We're in 50 Takes together. We play out in Duval all the time on Saturday nights. He's my rock. He's the human metronome. That guy can do it all. And then we started hooking up, and it went from Mysterious Teriyaki to, we call ourselves City Council. We're kind of like more of a punk alternative based band. And I brought him into 50 Takes, and he's only elevated us and made us sound better. And that was much needed. And then I went on a huge break from writing and kind of playing often for about 5 years. Yeah. I won't go into detail, but I almost got married, and that was just not a part of my life plan, I guess. And I started picking up music again because I had positive influences in my life who were like, dude, you got to do this. Like you're not using your time right. And I'm like, you're right. And I joined 50 Takes, built that from the ground up. And then I started going out to, this was just a year ago. I started going out to the Oxford open mics on Tuesdays with Jerry Batista hosting. What a gem. That guy's the tone master.
Yes.
Good Lord.
He's elevated to, like that upper level of musician that we all struggle to do, but he's got it.
He's not the only one, but he was the first one where I was just sat there in amazement, like, this is incredible. So I started hitting those up and Thursday night jams as well. And oh my gosh, like I would leave work at Fred's down the street in Snohomish, come up just in time to catch like the last hour of the Thursday jams and just lose my mind at what they were doing. And that's where I met Paul Higgins, who's like
drummer.
Oh my gosh. The best guy ever. Manuel, who's also the best guy. I'll save the time and not mention everybody, but they're all the best.
And Jeff. Was Jeff there too? He was there.
Jeff Lorenz. Oh my gosh. Dude, amazing. So being spoiled with all of these like cool influences and people, like really, it was the kick in the guts that I needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm out here, like I was just doing it just for an outlet, I was kind of like easing myself back into it, kind of preparing for my shows with 50 Takes. And then all of a sudden, I'm out there doing it. And I not to get too sappy, but I lost my mom in 2019.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you so much. And I think about her all the time, especially when I play, because she told me, you're meant to do something worthwhile. And when you make people sing along and dance, because I would just do that as a goofy kid. You know, I knew
Right.
how to kind of play, and then I started to learn how to play, and then family gatherings got a little bit more interesting. And, you know, it started there. I mean, I couldn't do this without any of my family,
Right.
anybody.
Right.
And then now my family's a lot bigger with everybody that I've met, including you, the
Thank
last year.
you.
I
Yeah.
mean, this last year has just been an express way of just learning so much, meeting cool people, and kind of going out there and putting forth the effort, which is something that I desperately needed for a long time.
I want to make a comment on that, but I have a comment here from
Yes.
Electric Dave. We were just with him over the weekend,
Oh, hi.
and he says, "I like to hear you do Love Never Runs." Do you know that song? I don't
That sounds familiar. Is that a Garth song? Is that
I
a
don't
deeper
know,
cut?
Dave. Is that Electric Dave? Is that a Garth song or is that?
Good Lord. I'm so wrapped up in my life story all of a sudden. It's just like,
Yes, no problem.
whatever it is, I'll do it. You know.
You hear that, Davey? Electric Davey said you'll do it. So you
Yeah.
got to meet up with him. Come out to the Duval. Come out to the Oxford.
Ah,
Come out to Stowtown. He's all over the place.
oh man, yeah.
And watch his schedule. He's going to be. He has gigs lined up too. He's going to tell us later about those. So you know, I think it's really important to note. I think that often the very best musicians are people that have been through a trauma, something that's been extremely life-changing to them, and it wakes up something inside you when you've gone through those kinds of struggles that come out in your music. And I can't say enough about that, because some of the people that have experienced the greatest pain in their lives are the people that are become eventually some of the artists that we all love. And, you know, not everybody gets a chance, but today, you know, things have changed. So it's more online stuff, more streaming. So I would encourage you to do that.
Oh yeah.
And one last, he said, Love Doesn't Run. I thought you guys were talking about it a few minutes ago. So there was some confusion there about that. Not sure. Music is the best therapy.
Music is the best therapy. And to kind of put a pin on that little part, it's like, you're right. It took about a year for all that to buffer and like really sit well with me. I mean, I started jamming again like immediately after. While she was in the hospital, I had like the best jam session I ever had because I was going through it, you know.
Right.
And then when it eventually happened, I took like maybe about a month, 2 months, but it was like instantly I started jamming again, started writing even more than I ever did, and boom, you know. And you're right, it is the best. Like it's a weird motivator like that where I just don't want to waste time, and also, you know, it's what she wanted me to do.
Yes.
You know? It's just,
she was a wise lady.
yes. Oh, the amount of books she had that I have to have in my storage unit because, you know, she collected so many books. Jeez, Tracy. Okay, gosh, that's why we made my whole bedroom a library when I was growing up.
So one of the things I noticed, and you know, I've noticed this in older musicians. Like, for instance, Manny's been out there for a long time. He's got some beautiful Spanish songs that I just love. He played one out at Duval, and I just fell in love with it. Never heard it since. Don't remember the name of it, but it was gorgeous. It was just beautiful. And you know, listening to him play when he starts getting into rock with Lynn Sorensen, and the two of them start challenging each other. There's that quality that they have together. If the drummer and Manny and Lynn on the bass, it's a magic. It's just magic. And you are beginning to hit that level. So
you're so right. But like when we were playing, because that's the longest I've ever played with them. Because I usually like come up and they're like, come up and play, and I'm like, yeah, sure. I do that from time to time, but I was nervous because I'm like, well, what's this dynamic going to be like for a full show? Like in my head, I'm like, this is Lynn and this is Manny, and I'm here. But they are the drummer's dream because they love to They love to play the song pretty much close to how it is, but also like I don't know if it's just coincidence or like we just all kind of feel like we need to do something different. There'll be like breaks in between like the lines and the verses or like parts in the solo where we were just clicking, doing
Yeah.
the same different stuff.
Yeah.
And they leave enough space to like actually like do like a cool little fill. And I mean like there's nothing better because we're having fun
Yes.
and that makes the crowd have fun.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's why I do it. I don't do it for like I mean of course there's a little bit of an ego thing,
Right.
but you know it's more just I want people to feel what I'm feeling right now and it's joy. So like I'm glad when it actually translates and that's the goal, right?
Right. I watched you out at Duval. I can't remember. It's like 2, 3 weeks ago. And it was, you went out of yourself. I don't know how to explain it. Somebody said it's Z, and it's because they're aliens. I don't know about that. They definitely are from out of this world.
I kind of look like one. You're not wrong. Phone home.
Phone home. Okay. But anyway, when you all of a sudden you were singing and and Lynn was singing too. I don't remember the song. I never listened much to rock. I couldn't stand rock stars back in the day where they're breaking guitars. It's like, oh my God, I can't even buy one and you're breaking them.
Totally fair. Totally. I don't break them. I don't get that. I don't get it at all. But to each their own, I guess.
But the sound of what they were doing, I mean, that is now becoming very important to me to listen to. And you've got that. And you did that in the song. I don't know what happened to you. You just went crazy.
It was Give Me Shelter, right? Rolling Stones. We were playing with Michael.
You were way up in the high register singing. And
Michael Powers. Yeah. He was there and we were doing Give Me Shelter.
Yeah. And you
guys. I did the soul. I did that part. Yeah.
And you were like playing all over that fretboard, and it was like I've never heard anything like that in my life anywhere.
You know, when I'm up there, like Spencer right now is the Spencer that's like here for most of the day. But when I hit the stage and I start playing, it's like
yes,
this version of me like goes autopilot, and then whatever. Like there's a movie called Soul that just came out last year, 2 years ago. It's about a jazz musician who dies, and you kind of follow him through the afterlife. It's a Pixar movie. It's really, really beautiful.
I have to look at that one. That sounds good.
You would love it. Jamie Foxx is amazing in it. That's Jamie Foxx, right? I think so. I'm a huge movie nerd, so sorry. But before he passes away, spoilers. It's like the first 20 minutes. He's playing in his jazz club, and it depicts like what it's like when you're playing music. Everything just kind of fades out and becomes like a purple aura around him. And he's just in the zone. And that's what it kind of feels like. Yeah, the Soul is an absolute must see if you want to really, truly understand life's journey.
I will watch that.
That comment is spot on.
So there's another comment here from Andrea who said, yes, that was Give Me Shelter. And it was awesome. And yes, that did happen. I could see it. There was a transformation there. And then another person saying Soul is an absolutely must see if you truly want to understand life's journey. Hey, I'm at the end of mine. I get it.
Oh, no.
And Michael, I don't know if you know Michael McMath. He's always out at the.
Of course I do.
He's like Michael. Everywhere. I'm beginning to think maybe he's God because he's everywhere.
Sorry, I think he's got clones.
He's yes, clones.
I genuinely think it's multiple Michael McMaths.
True. So moving a little bit beyond that, I remember Lynn said something to me about I can't. Oh God, my memory is like I got all this information in here, and it doesn't always come out when I need it.
Oh, good.
He was talking about one of the stars, and he was talking how this guy would get up on stage. He was just nicest, the ordinary kind of guy, you know, just normal. And then he'd go up on that stage, and there'd be an absolute transformation. You know, he became the performer, and then he'd get off stage, and he'd be just back to normal, one of the guys kind of guy. So what you're describing is exactly what Lynn was telling me about.
what, like I've met, it's more the younger people that I've played with, not to, I mean, it sounds kind of demeaning when I say the younger people I've played with. Growing up, I mean, that's all I had, right? I would go to the Oxford jams when I was 15 and piss the house blues band off because we would play Weezer and Green Day and like Mac DeMarco, and I'd get off the drum set and this guy's like, hey, it's not Madison Square Garden. And I'm thinking in my head, well, Andrew Wood from Mother Love Bone said every place is Madison Square Garden.
Exactly.
You have to play it like you own it. Like,
yes.
Yeah, but then that's when I started like learning, dynamics. Like, don't beat the hell out of it. Just, whatever.
Yes.
But I've never understood the ego trip. It's healthy to have an ego and like know your self-worth. I mean, I think that's kind of what that healthy ego meaning is. But there's a difference when it's like you kind of like you're the same person you are on stage off, and like that's kind of like a victim of that. Someone's a victim of like their own self-inflation, and it doesn't breed great creativity. It's a hostile environment for everyone involved, whether it's the audience or the band, and it's just not well worth anybody's time. It really isn't. Like, be nice, be collaborative, and if you can't, then know yourself enough to be like, I'm not feeling it. Simple.
Exactly. I to add to that, I have people on here that are, the people that listen to this program don't always know where they're from or what their experiences are, and they come in very quietly into a jam, and you look at them and you say, if that guy gets up on stage, I know this is going to be good because I can see it in their eyes, but they're not showing it in their demeanor.
Sure.
And so people, don't know when I start advertising who they are, but they're so humble, and yet they get up on the stage and like, they're just a wild man. I mean, they just come out of themselves. It's amazing transformation.
I think I want to answer this next question after I mention this point, but Van Halen's my favorite band all time favorite band. They are my number one influence in everything I do. Like, the first thing I just do when I play is just channel what I can of Eddie Van Halen on guitar. Like, all of those guys, they're nuts. Like, if you've seen videos of Van Halen, they are running around the stage. Dave's doing jump kicks. He's touching his toes all the way up here. Like, Michael Anthony's got a bottle of Jack in his hand while he's playing the bass. You got Eddie, who's just crazy. He looks like he's like just running around, no effort playing. And Alex is just a madman on the drums. That's kind of like what I wanted to be. Like Garth Brooks, he's the same way, running around back and forth.
Oh, yes, he's incredible. Yeah.
I mean, I know it's, obviously it's a rough subject nowadays, but like I grew up on, because my mom grew up on Michael Jackson. I grew up on Michael Jackson's music. And there's something to be said about like performing on stage. Like, you got to put on a show. And I think kind of like blocking out my inhibitions that way, and like just going out there and having fun. Like, I could just like stammer around, and that's contagious to people.
Yeah.
I could jump up and down. That's contagious. I do kind of everything, I wear my influences on my sleeve, I've been told. So when I've seen videos of myself playing, and I'm like, oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm playing. I'm like hunched over, kind of like Alex Van Halen, because that's how I learned how to sit on the drums. Like, that's just how it happens. This question from this user right here.
Yes, I see it. Also, they said awesome. Oh, this is a shout out to me, so I gotta say it first.
Yeah, no, say it.
It says awesome. Yes. Joy, I love this interview. It's not me, it's him.
No, it's you too. We're red and blue. We got this. Okay. Okay, so the question is, you're on an island with one person, Jimmy Page, Hendrix, or Keith Richards. Hendrix. If I'm choosing out of those three, Hendrix, because I mean, hey, he was born right down the street. I love Hendrix. I mean, like, Mitch Mitchell alone could have just carried Hendrix, even if he was a bad guitar player. Which I don't really believe there's a bad guitar player. There's only people who are learning.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
He's
Good thought.
a lot of my favorite influences come from Hendrix, like Eddie Van Halen, John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Beautiful guitar player. Does a lot of those Hendrix fills. He's just amazing. Like that guy, like when they do their slower stuff, you can totally hear Hendrix all over. And the guys from Pearl Jam, Stone and Mike, those guys they're influenced by that era, and also helps they're from Seattle too. And Stone Gossard is top 3 guitar players for me. Like, and not an accident that all of my favorites are influenced by themselves, like each other and Hendrix himself. Right. But if I'm gonna choose who I was gonna be on an island with, it would be Eddie Van Halen. Just disregarded those 3. Eddie, instantly. We'd have so much fun.
Absolutely. So moving on from that, I mean, there's a lot of ground we haven't covered in that.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Part. But that's okay. We'll just have to do it again. So yes. The next part of it is during what were you up to? What were you thinking? What were you experiencing through this whole period of COVID when everything started shutting down? And had you already come back into the music world at that time, or where were you at?
Okay, no, that's a great question. Well, I was still grieving over my mom, and at this point, and I it's not a big deal to me anymore. It was kind of like an open and shut case for a bunch of reasons, but my relationship had ended, and it was seriously the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I had someone who, like, it started out, play music, and then it became don't play music. And to tell a musician that is like saying, hey, don't breathe.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I broke out from that, and that's around the same time I started because for most of 2020 I did not do anything until I got hooked up with the guys that I play with in 50 Takes. Ron Gilmore he's one of the long list of people who I consider like one of my dads. Like, I have 15 dads now, or cool uncles. I don't know how you would describe it, because I learned so much from these guys.
Role models.
You can feel the love. I mean, I would say role models, but like there's a connection.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So that was the later half of 2020. So thankfully I got to rehearse with Ron, and then we brought in my buddy Jake. We had to change drummers. Brought in my buddy Jake, and we started building out 50 Takes is what it is now. And I spent most of 2020 doing that. And then 2021 rolls around, and we're hitting the ground running. We got 2 new members, Sue Shelton, beautiful singer, and Merle Broyles, who plays out in Duval all the time. Duval is Merle's town. So to speak. I don't want to be like, I don't want to speak for him, but that dude can play. We started 50 Takes as a 5-piece in earnest, and working on harmonies, working on what songs people want to hear, but also what songs do they not hear, and that was amazing. Yeah. That's how I spent most of the pandemic, was doing that, or the brunt of the pandemic, as it were. So I did that, and then that's when I started hitting the jams out in Snohomish again.
Yeah, they opened first pretty much. They had all those tents up, and they were doing outside performances. And, right. Yeah, right. They kept the music alive in Snohomish.
I mean, it's one thing to. I'll say it like this, and it sounds a little bit diminutive towards customers and their own, life, but it's one thing to have that open and have them get entertained, but it's another thing to like remember that. And I think. Well, when people are drinking, they totally forget this, which is almost forgivable. But musicians are humans too. I don't think people get that, and I don't think people don't always get that. I think that it tends to happen later as the night goes. That like we're not a Rolodex of music, even though I know my worth enough to know that I know a lot of stuff. But if I'm in a band structure, they don't. And I'm certainly not willing to break apart. Like, I'm a huge set list guy, and what's on the set list is what we're doing. Maybe we'll do something out of the box. Probably not, though. Like, I'm a huge stickler for that. So, but the businesses giving that outlet and venues letting people come in and play, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because I understand it now because luckily I've been playing in a time where we're not really shelter in place anymore.
Right.
And thank God I don't have to like suffer through that. But I can't imagine what all my buds were doing that last like year and a half. Like that breaks my heart because it's just it sucks. Like straight up, it sucks. So, I'm happy that I found my footing when I did.
Absolutely.
So, long story short, I found it.
Yeah. There's a Fred Holtzman was the drummer or
Right
was
on.
for Jerry Batista's band. And
Yep, the Davinos.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them so much. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
When he was with the and when he was with the Shortcuts, he said, "Well, he will give you some version of that song, but we
Yeah.
recommend that you go out and listen to it in your car."
Yeah. I say that. I say that now during like my during my dinner shows at the Oxford. I'll set up my tip jar and I'll be like, well, if you want to hear it and you want to hear it done poorly, you definitely donate to my trust fund. But also, if I can't do it, your card's right there. I try not to say the exact same thing because Freddie's Freddie. He's an original. That's not a word. He's an original. He's the incredible for a reason.
He has a Rolodex. That guy has a Rolodex of everything that was ever put out there, I think.
He doesn't know it either. Like he was at the Twin Dragon during the open mic when Taryn was hosting, and Jeff was the full Shortcuts band. They were hosting the open mic jam, and we were throwing him Van Halen songs that he was like, "Oh, I've never heard it or played it."
He played it.
Like, spot on.
Yes, I know.
Spot on.
My country music too. I used to jam with them in Snohomish in a place called Stewart's, and he just picked it out of the Rolodex, and I didn't even need a lead because he had the breaks where everything needed to go.
Oh yeah, and like I was before I got up and doing my crazy bananas hoo-ha like he was playing with Felice Laneberry. Beautiful singer, amazing singer, and I like her song choices because that's the stuff I listened to in high school, which is the stuff she listened to in high school. Funny how that works.
Yeah,
I'm sure. But I'm sitting there, and I think Wes was sitting next to me. Wes Hampson, brilliant drummer.
I know him. Yes,
we're looking, and they're doing "Sunshine" by Alice in Chains, and Freddie never missed a beat. He didn't stammer, and he played everything spot on. All he had to do was look at Taryn's hands, and he's doing the da 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 all on the toms. It was amazing.
Absolutely amazing. We have two more comments here. Raymond, I believe this is Raymond Hayden. If this isn't Raymond Hayden, let me know. But he said, "This kid,
it is.
Man is fresh air. Artists need to hear his words. Humility is and always has been the key."
The kid, I love it.
And then I think the other one is Bob Kettrick. He needs a hi Spencer Toycen, and he doesn't tell me, but I think it's Kettrick.
That's Bob Kettrick. Hi, Bob. Love you.
So this brings us up. We got maybe about 15. Can you go over? Or are you?
I'm good to go over. Okay. I have nowhere to be until about 5.
Okay. So let's go on just a little bit about the people that you've now after COVID have come back just to music after some life shaking moments of how life goes on Earth. And I stopped for 3 years. I had my moment. I had to stop my band. Of
course. I think we all do.
Yeah, and I came back. I mean, I went to Arizona to see a couple people. One was my keyboardist singer, and her husband was a drummer. And I went to see them. And for some reason, they brought me back into it. But I was so destroyed having to quit my band that the very first thing I ever did was in a retirement home with a volunteer band, a senior volunteer band out at Bothell. And
Oh, cool.
I cried so bad. I couldn't sing. So,
Oh,
and I think everybody experiences these moments when you come back and all of a sudden you find this gold mine of talent and love and a skill and just it's like opening a box of nothing but precious jewels that all comes out.
you know how it works out for me is since my um I hate saying it. I hate saying this because it sounds so. I sound like a tool bag when I say it. But my musical landscape in my head, like as far as what I listen to, it's so deep that I can find influences everywhere. And
Mhm.
like, I mean, that's why my best friend and I mean, we grew up on classic rock and metal and grunge. We started doing that, and now we like write our own punk stuff because we fell in love with punk around the same time, like when we were younger, and I showed him a lot of stuff that now he's obsessed with, and he showed me a lot of stuff that now I'm obsessed with. And
Yeah.
when I met Manny, I was like, Van Halen. When I and playing drums with Manny is like we could just do everything and anything. It doesn't matter. And same with Lynn. It's like it just fits like a glove. And Paul Higgins, like I've never met anybody in my life who loves Van Halen as much as I do. I've talked to people online. I'll see someone on Instagram who like does like a bunch of Van Halen stuff, and I'm like, dude, this is dope. Like you're amazing. Like let's like talk or something, and we'll talk, and that's it because they live states away or in another country.
All right.
I found Paul in my hometown,
Ah,
and there's I'm 25. There's about a 30-year difference between us, and
how
it's
old did you just say you were?
I'm 25.
25. Oh
I'm
my God.
25 years old. Yeah, yeah.
But you know
Uh,
what? The music started in the womb, so
the
I'm
music
not.
started in the womb, and that music went back about 40 years. So I'm technically like 65, you know. But Paul and I connected like we jammed once at the Thursday jam, and then it's because I had my Van Halen guitar with me, my black and yellow striped
Yes,
EVH.
I put a picture out there of that.
Yeah, you did. Uh, we started bonding over Van Halen, and I think we got to such a point that at the end of the night when we would do their version of Happy Trails because they have this a cappella version at the end of Diver Down, fantastic album. Uh, we would sing Happy Trails to the bartenders as we're leaving, you know, and and and, and like the first like two or three times they're like, oh, that's cute, and then they just were like, please stop, just go. It's 12. Like we gotta go. And we just have such a ball, him and I. And I have that with everybody. It's always like in a different spot, like Taryn Bennell.
Yeah.
We do Van Halen all the time. It's amazing.
I like watching you two sing together. You're so close. I mean, I don't know what your personal relationship is, but I know you have a relationship with Trina.
Yes,
You
that's what it is.
Yes, and so it's like your family, and it's you can see the closeness, and you two are give quite a performance to say the least.
Well, when we're on stage together or when I'm, showing up to one of their shows, he starts calling me son. I start calling him dad just to,
Yeah,
just to mess with people. And because I've known Trina so much through my life, I've known her since I was 5.
yeah, that's what she said.
So,
And you
I
played
grew
with
up,
her son.
yeah, I grew up with her kids. I've played with both of her sons. Like that's very special. And to be able to like go out there and not only like reconnect with her, but also like she's got Taryn who like
Yeah,
has been like again one of my role models. I want to be like that, I want to be like this person and that person and that. And it's kind of finding a way to like mix it up and become my own thing.
right. Absolutely. We have more comment here.
Yes.
Dono, hi Dono. And Donna Hash, they did a similar program to this overseas.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, Yeah. So I
Hi.
would love to hear that, but that they're not. I don't know. I don't see them very often. I see one or two in summer on YouTube. But anyway,
Mhm.
uh, hi, Dono. I'm glad you could join us. Uh,
Hi.
I'm here talking with Spencer Toycen, and he's quite an interesting young man, great player. So moving from there, we now have about 10 minutes. We might run over a few. Um,
That's totally fine. I'm sorry I've been hogging up your day. I
no,
feel bad.
don't you dare apologize. You're doing fine. I love it.
I had a podcast for about a year, so I'm really good
Oh,
at
so
talking.
you get it. Yeah.
I'm really good at talking. If you want to know everything about the Marvel movies, I'm your guy.
No, I want to know everything about what's in your head when it comes out in your
That's
fingers.
that's oddly enough, that's also one of the things. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm hoping some way. The last guy that I interviewed on here, we had a problem and we couldn't get through a matured musician, but I did post this on YouTube on my site.
Oh, cool.
And his name is Pedro, and he played with Spike and the Impalers percussion. And
That's
he's had a radio show for years. He's a brilliant man. When it comes to drums, he used to sleep with the metronome. The guy is fabulous. I mean, when he is doing rock with Lynn, we watched him when he came out there a few weeks ago.
Yep. That's when we did "Gimme Shelter."
Yes. Did he
Brilliant.
play for you?
Yeah.
Was he the drummer?
He didn't play for me. He played with me, and yes, he was the drummer. He is
Sorry.
literally he's another human metronome. Like they exist.
Yes. I was just blown away by this guy. I was thinking I wanted to hear you with him playing, but I guess I did.
You did. Hey, it was later at night. I forgive you. Sometimes I forget. I forget half the songs I play most of the time.
Yeah. So you've got what I hope you do in the future is bring your whole band up here, and
Yeah.
I can have a dozen people all at one time. But
Sure.
I'd like to interview your band so we can get to some of this other stuff as well. But right
Yeah.
now, for for today, it's all about you. Oh,
Oh, there you go.
oh.
We lost Joy. Hi.
Ah, yeah.
She's back.
Can you hear me? I don't know why it's doing this. Something happened.
I can hear you.
All right. So unfortunately, this is me right now, the talking head.
It's all good.
I can't. I'm going to put you on full screen here
Okay.
and remove myself and come back in. But I want you to answer this question. I want you to tell the people what you have coming up, where they can find you, and what your plans for the future are. And then I'll be back.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hi. Let me start with my plans for the future so I can pull up my calendar again. Sorry. I had to exit out because my phone was dying. Kind of what my goal is as far as an artist is I love playing music. It doesn't matter where, how large I get, or whatever. That doesn't matter. I would like to reach as many people as I possibly can because I love making people. I love making people feel happy, and giving them like that emotional release that everybody desperately needs. And no matter who we are, whether we agree, disagree, this, that, or the other thing, that we do, smaller venues or even bigger venues, like they're full of people who don't agree or feel the same things as each other do. And I love the common ground music gives us. Sorry, I started with the whole like what my life's goal is
Go ahead.
as a musician. I would like success. Who doesn't? But my goal is just to make people happy. That's really all it is. At the end of the day, if we disagree when we walk into a venue, that's one thing. But when we're in that same venue and that artist, or vice versa, myself, we're all under the same banner as people who just want to dance and have fun. That's the goal. And sometimes you hear different stuff and sometimes you don't. Like that's just how it is. And it's that's the goal. That's
I'm
the
gonna have
goal,
to
man.
watch this after to find out what you said. Darn.
That's how you got an extra view.
Yes.
He's
All right.
finessing the system.
Okay. So what have you
Okay.
got?
So,
Two things, two questions. First of all,
yes.
what have you got coming up? Where can we find it? And will you post it on Matured Musicians? And number two, when you look into the future, where do you see yourself going? You can answer them in any order.
Okay. I kind of answered that second one, but let me loop back around to that.
Okay.
You can okay, so my makeshift calendar I have here. Um, I have my dinner show tonight at the Oxford
Yes.
from 6 to 9.
Okay.
If anybody in the comments is willing to come out to Snohomish, I don't know where everybody is. I know someone's in Yelm, so that ain't happening. But come out to the Oxford tonight. I'm playing everything that's rock, pop, country, soul. I do it all. I'm gonna have some guests with me. Paul Higgins is gonna be playing cajon for me. We're gonna be doing some Van Halen. Duh. Douglas Arrington will be out there. We're gonna do some songs with him as well. That'll be fun. And then I'm at Twin Dragon Sports Bar. You're familiar with that place.
Yeah.
I'm there with my band 50 Takes from 8 to midnight. We do
What day? When is that?
that is July 30th
Okay.
from 8 to midnight in Duval. We do everything from country, pop, rock. It's a wide set list of different stuff. We kind of have a more of a country bent to us, but it's fun. I dare you not to like get up and dance when the human metronome known as Jake Smiley is up there playing the drums. He gives us everything we need to just go off and have fun. I have a couple shows at the Oxford with Douglas Arrington. I don't have the specific dates right here, right now.
Can I stop you for just a minute about
Yes.
Douglas Arrington?
Yes.
Next Monday at 2 p.m., I am interviewing Douglas here on this show. So, yeah.
Oh, why do I have to work? Oh man, I would love to watch that
You can
live.
see it after. You can see it. It'll be posted on my Matured Musician Facebook and YouTube, so you'll be able to find him. I'll send you.
You see how I got you into a segue for a plug? No, I love Douglas. Playing with Douglas, Katie Gill, Kelly Morris, Uncle Fuzzy, James Prater,
Yes.
and Jeff Crookall. They're amazing. We only had like one practice together, but we fit like just a glove. We all have just this innate feeling for the songs that we do, and I'll make sure to promote those gigs on Matured Musicians as well, because
thank you.
Douglas isn't Douglas and Katie. Katie's voice, Douglas's voice, they're so beautiful. James, Uncle Fuzzy as well. Good Lord.
Yes.
I'm spoiled with the people that I play with. But I will for sure be posting those on the page as well.
Okay. Perfect. I wanted to say something about that. Now it just left my mind. So I guess we just have to go.
Forgive me, please.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And so those are what you have coming up in the future. What are you visualizing for your future? Like looking out 5 years from now, where do you hope to be? What do you hope to be doing?
Well, that's tough because a year ago, before I started, really getting out there, I just visualized playing, shows every other weekend or every weekend with 50 takes. That was it. And now, now I have a dinner show every once a month. It seems like, if not more. I can't remember. Things just go by so fast. I'm getting a chance to play with Lynn and Manny.
Yeah.
I'm playing with Douglas and Katie, with Douglas and friends. I get to play with 50 takes. I get to do a bunch of I'm in a southern rock band that's all originals. That's getting off the ground. I may or may not be joining another band that already has established originals.
I do hope you do one thing for me.
Yeah.
I hope that you come up to whatever gym he's at and listen to Chris Ager.
I will, because
think,
I see that he's playing at the Oxford all the time, and I need to get out there more when it's not, crazy for me at work.
He is a product of Nashville and a friend called
Oh,
Eric Heatherly. And I've seen these guys perform at the Lincoln Theater together, and it's absolutely amazing. So do tune in to him, please. He's
I
also
will.
an interview. If you ever want to look at some of the older interviews, he was on about a month ago.
Oh, yeah, I will.
And I remember the thing I was going to say here was people watching out there, please tell everybody about Matured Musicians. All you have to do is go to search on the Facebook page and type in Matured Musicians Group. And the reason being is all of these people need to be heard. And I think that you will enjoy what you hear, get to know them better. So when you do go to their gigs and you do go up to them on the bandstand or what afterwards or whatever, you know a little bit about them and where they're coming from and where they're going. And they are truly inspirations. So anyway, with that, so I was asking you what you see happening 5 years from now.
Okay, so I'm nowhere where I thought I would be. My expectations were not, I wouldn't say low, because playing with 50 takes every weekend sounded like just all I needed and all I ever wanted. And then eventually I'd get to the future, whatever. But after doing that and getting the chance to play with Manny and Lynn and getting the chance to be called up on stage by all these guys that I look up to, man, and the opportunities that I've been afforded that I can't necessarily talk about right now, for various reasons. But 5 years, man. I hope. I can't visualize where it's like, because a year ago I couldn't visualize this right now. I couldn't. But I hope I'm reaching as many people as I can with what I have to say, not just covers, but with what I have to say and with what I do and with what I make, because I love playing covers. It's a little bit easier to figure out something someone else has written. You could just look it up and be like, oh, or listen to it and be like, that's that chord. But I want to take my band out. I want to take city council out on the road and tell my story.
Yes.
And tell my side of things, and tell the world that you're not alone. That's what I want, whether it takes the form of city council or it's something else entirely. I'm playing a few originals tonight at the dinner show.
Cool.
Probably going to do them back to back just to get them out of the way together, because everybody just wants to hear stuff they know, and I don't blame them for that. I mean, that's how I feel half the time. But I want people to feel like they're heard, and it happens all the time with every popular band or artist. But every new artist comes through, there's a little something extra that everybody adds to the equation, and yes. I want to be able to add that, and hopefully I can. Hopefully I can. I can't speak to it, and I don't want to know if I do or not. Right off the bat, I would like to be able to feel that repercussion a little bit delayed. That way I'm not oh, my head gets huge and all that stuff. I'm very careful. I'm my mom didn't raise me to be I'm not gonna swear. I'm not gonna do that. But she raised me to not be cold boogers on a paper plate, is what I'll say.
I don't think I'll ever forget that comment, Spencer.
Take away what you will.
Then the final thing, and I know we're running over people. If you have to log out, maybe you want to catch it later. But the last thing is, what advice do you have for people, not just the people, your range now, you're from 2 to middle 70s, I think, or 80s. I mean, from age-wise. So you've played all these people, you've been influenced by people in all those different age groups.
Right.
But what advice would you give young songwriters starting out as far as some idea of what you've learned that you'd like to pass advice that you'd like to pass along to them.
As soon as you started asking the question, I knew. It's not even my own advice.
Okay.
So log off. It's not me. No, I'm just kidding. No, after Eddie Van Halen passed away, it was almost a year after my mom passed. So it was just kind of like, I mean, I didn't know Eddie, but he was like a family member to me because that's
Right.
I just digest Van Halen and I re-listen to my discography playlist, every album over and over again, learn how to play, and this is how I learned. I think about what he said, which is basically what my mom said, but there's an actual video of it, and you could look it up on YouTube because I have it saved on my phone just in case I get discouraged, and that still happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, I felt like I was like off at one of these shows that I was playing. I won't say which, that way.
It happens.
It happens, confidence wavers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what I did was I pulled up the video, and it's Eddie Van Halen backstage at NAMM, I believe, in 2015. This dude's like filming him, and I'm assuming the question was the same as yours. What's your advice? And he just looks at the camera, he's like real close, and he's leaning in. He's like, hey, it's Eddie Van Halen here. Just keep playing. That's all there is, man. It's music. So just keep playing. And for a musician, and I watched that the day that he died. Like, it started popping up on my Twitter and my Facebook. Like, that was what I needed to hear because I was just starting playing again. And I watch that from time to time, and I think, yeah, just keep playing because no matter what adversity, as long as it's not like uber life threatening or you're I'm not trying to be funny here.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of funny how I said it. And that's just what I do. No, I'm just kidding. No matter what your adversity is, as long as it's not, a danger to yourself and others, I think just sitting down and playing guitar or going out to your car in your driveway or driving around listening to your favorite song and singing it. You don't even have to belt it correctly. Just belt it out. That's all there is. Music is the ultimate therapy for literally everybody.
Absolutely.
And if it isn't, there's something wrong with them. No, there's not. But like, it's cathartic. It's cathartic for me because I get to play it.
And for people.
And for people listening. And I'm also that. So it's just, speaking as a musician and speaking to a musician, like there's nothing better than watching a musician do their thing.
Yes.
There's nothing better because you're like, I know what that feels like and I'm feeling it from you. Thank you. Like that's how it is. Like I'll watch Greg or Freddie, Jerry, Taryn, Jeff, anybody, Paul, Jamie Vandal, the legend, Jamie Vandal, Manny, Lynn. Good Lord. Like Doug McGrew, Douglas Arrington, Doug Rusk, and Doug Cooper. Like watching everybody do their thing. Susan, and Ron Gilmore, and like, yes. Don't spoil it. Joy, how dare you? It's your show, so I'll let it slide. No, I'm just kidding. Again, I kid a lot. But yeah, no, we do our thing, and it makes me feel good because you're doing songs that like Be My Baby Tonight. Love that song. I listen to it all the time. I'm not even kidding. I've been listening to it every day since I got Spotify like 7 years ago. Like that's just one that picks me up. I saw him live too.
You have to listen to Billy Shu when he plays it. He's got a jam out on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9. And it's at Stockton's in Maple Valley. It's a little
on Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday nights. It's a little bit of a drive, but if you ever get out there, have a day off or whatever, you come out. And he plays that song almost like the record. It's just amazing.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. No, I'll try and get out there for that because
Sometime, and I'll
yeah.
keep you posted if he.
No, please do.
I'd like to get him out to the Oxford, but this guy is very busy. He's got a band and he travels, he tours, he does everything. So he's kind of awesome.
I doubt I'm as busy as him, and I already feel it. I started getting more wrinkles. Like I'm 25, and I look like when I have this going on, I look about 30.
People don't listen to that.
Yeah, don't listen to that. No, actually, underneath this blue, it's silver.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today, Spencer. I really
Of course,
enjoyed
Joy.
it. Everybody else did too.
I enjoyed it too. I really had fun. I can't even put it into words.
Oh yeah, somebody just wrote. He says, his drummer something sang at Yelm 10 years ago. I don't quite understand what they're saying there. You can read it if you look up in the corner. And then, and I forgot because Billy will be at the Twin Dragon next Sunday as the guest of Lynn and Doug. So
I will be there.
Hopefully you catch that.
I'll be there. And if they don't do Be My Baby tonight, I'll get up and play it with them.
Or with me, I'll be up there.
Yes.
All right. Thank you again for coming on. It's been a joy. You are an up-and-coming artist, whether you know it or not. I think you need to get online a little more and let people know. Maybe restart your broadcast. I don't know when you can fit that in, but
that's not happening anymore. Yeah, there's too much stuff. There's too much movies. There's too many movies and TV shows. I tend to be a little bit more regular with my posts on my Facebook page. I do that on my Instagram as well. But I will post them more onto matured musicians. That way it kind of reaches out to, everybody right here and all that stuff. So.
All right, Spencer. You have a good rest of your day. I will see you at probably the Oxford or Duval or Maple Valley or somewhere, but I will catch you somewhere in the future.
I will forgive you for not showing up tonight at the Oxford.
You don't know whether I'm coming or not.
You hear that? If Joy shows up, you all better show up. 6 to 9 at the Oxford Saloon. I will, I may get you a drink. I don't think so. But I'll play your favorite song, maybe.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Spencer.
Thank you, Joy.
Bye-bye. Well, that's it, everybody. I'm going to end this broadcast, and we do have Doug Arrington coming on at 2 o'clock next Monday. See you then. Bye, all. Have a good rest of your day.